Have you ever stopped mid-scroll because someone's confidence literally jumped off the screen? Not because of an airbrushed ad or some impossible beauty filter, but because that person radiated something real, something powerful. That's exactly what Ellie Appleton does. She's more than a model. She's a movement. And today we're diving into her story, the rise of a curvy queen who transformed body positivity from a hashtag into a global awakening. But before we get into Ellie's journey, let's pause for a moment. Think about this. For decades, beauty has been presented in one narrow frame. Thin, polished, perfect. Magazines, TV, fashion shows, they all painted a picture of ideal beauty that excluded most women. And yet here we are in 2025, with voices like Ellie's flipping the script. Why? Because women are tired of shrinking themselves to fit an outdated mold. Ellie Appleton's rise wasn't overnight. She wasn't born into an industry that rolled out the red carpet for curves. Quite the opposite. Growing up, Ellie rarely saw women like her represented. The message was clear. If you weren't a certain size, you didn't belong in the conversation. But here's where her story shifts. Instead of internalizing that rejection, Ellie chose resistance. She chose to exist boldly in a space that wasn't ready for her. And in doing so, she cracked the door open for millions of others. Now, Ellie didn't just become a model. She became a symbol. Let's rewind to her early career. Countless auditions where the answer was no. Agencies telling her to lose a little weight or tone down her look. Imagine the pressure. For many, that's where the dream would end. But Ellie didn't see her body as a barrier. She saw it as her power. And when she finally landed her first major campaign, it wasn't just about the clothes on her body, it was about the message her body carried, that beauty comes in all shapes. The fashion world noticed, slowly but surely. Runways began to diversify. Brands started featuring women whose bodies looked like the customers they were selling to. And Ellie wasn't just part of that shift, she was leading it. Her boldness said curves are not a trend, they are timeless, they are powerful. They belong. Now let's zoom out for a second, because Ellie's story connects to a much bigger one, the body positivity movement itself. This isn't something that started on Instagram. Its roots go back to the 1960s, when activists began pushing back against fat shaming and demanding visibility. Fast forward to the 2000s, when social media gave everyday people the power to amplify those voices. And today, influencers like Ellie Appleton are carrying that torch into mainstream culture. But here's what makes Ellie stand out. She doesn't just post pretty pictures. She talks truth. She talks openly about rejection, about the sting of trying to find clothes that weren't made for curves, about comparison culture and the damage it does. And because she's transparent, people connect with her not just as a model, but as a mentor. Here's the impact. Studies show that body dissatisfaction is one of the leading causes of low self-esteem, especially in young women. Social media often makes it worse, flooding feeds with edited, unrealistic standards. But when someone like Ellie shows up unapologetically herself, it creates a ripple effect. It says, if she can embrace herself, maybe I can too. That ripple can transform how women see themselves, how they care for themselves, and how they pass those lessons to the next generation. And let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about body positivity. Critics often frame it as giving up on health, but Ellie's movement reminds us that body positivity isn't about letting yourself go. It's about letting yourself grow into confidence, into freedom, into the realization that you are not defined by a number on a scale. Loving your body doesn't mean ignoring it. It means treating it with respect, with kindness, and with care. Ellie partners with brands that celebrate inclusivity, not just in ads, but in actual product lines. She advocates for fashion that's designed for every shape, not just a select few. And she takes her time mentoring young women who are still struggling with the idea of self-acceptance. Because she knows firsthand, change doesn't just happen in magazines, it happens in conversations. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of her story. Ellie doesn't just model clothes, she models courage. She models authenticity. She models what it looks like to take up space without apology. Think about the next time you look in the mirror. We all have those moments of nitpicking, pinching at our waist, frowning at our thighs, criticizing the parts of ourselves that don't match what we've been taught to admire. Ellie's message is simple but powerful. Beauty isn't a size. It's not an ideal you chase. It's not a finish line. Beauty is confidence. Beauty is joy. Beauty is showing up exactly as you are and realizing that's enough. So here's your challenge. The next time you catch yourself criticizing your reflection, pause. Replace that criticism with gratitude. Thank your body for carrying you. Thank your legs for moving you forward. Thank your curves for being part of the story that makes you, you. That's body positivity in action. Not denial, not delusion, but celebration. And if this resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs the reminder today, because the more we spread messages like Ellie's, the stronger this movement becomes. If you're new here at Curvy Queens Stories, welcome to the community. This is your space, a place where curves are celebrated, where confidence is championed, and where stories like Ellie Appleton remind us that beauty comes in all forms. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss an episode, and join a sisterhood that uplifts and inspires. Ellie's story isn't just about modeling, it's about leadership. It's about refusing to hide. It's about rewriting the rules so that future generations don't have to question whether they're beautiful. They'll know it from the start. And maybe that's the reminder you needed today, that your body, your story, your journey is worthy of love and celebration, just as it is. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, own your curves, own your confidence, and keep rewriting the standards, because when you love yourself loudly, the world has no choice but to listen.